Hey guys, welcome to my page. My name is Sarah and I am 30 years old. Ooh, I don't like to say that yet. I just turned 30, but I was diagnosed with MS about almost 2 years ago when I was 28. And I just wanted to create this channel to discuss my process with it, how I was diagnosed, and then how I've changed since my diagnosis, just to start this conversation and try to get like a community going where we can discuss different changes. Maybe some people have something they tried that really helped them out with their autoimmune, or just like a hard life stage that they had to go through that can also help other people. So I just wanted to start this conversation so that we can have this conversation, because I don't think it's a conversation that's had very often, or at least that I've noticed. And it's really important to bring light to it, because I know a lot of people who have been diagnosed with MS in the last few years, and even after I was diagnosed, and it's more than you think, which is scary to think about. A little bit about me. So like I said, my name's Sarah. I'm 20. Geez, I almost just said I'm 28. I'm 30. I just turned 30. Diagnosed when I was 28. I am living in Connecticut at the moment, hating winter as usual. Born and raised in New England, so I'm not sure why I still hate winter. I also wonder why I still live here, but come on, it's New England. We love New England. I have a 7-year-old daughter, Lincoln. She's my best friend. I'm sure at some point she'll run into one of my videos and you guys will get to meet her. I work in marketing, so I have a full-time job plus Lincoln. I have my house here in Connecticut. I try to work out as much as possible. Yeah, so I'm sure like throughout these videos you'll start to learn more about me. But basically I just want to tell you my journey of getting diagnosed with MS, and then create some more videos where we can just have this discussion on what we can change to kind of help us be our best selves. And I am not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm none of that. This is all just things that I've kind of tested on myself. So some things might work for you and others might not. Also, some of my comments about certain things might be controversial, because I know some people are stuck in their ways. So definitely have an open mind when you're on this page. But I'm really excited for you guys to hear my journey, kind of hear the steps I've taken to change, and kind of just get your feedback on that, and see what you think, and hopefully, I don't know, find something that can help everyone feel a little bit better about themselves. So here's where it all started. So here's my story. Okay, so Mother's Day 2020, I woke up and I brushed my teeth, and my upper left molar, like up here, one of them just like felt like I had brushed too hard, and I didn't really think anything of it. I just thought like, oh, I must have brushed too hard. So I just like went about my day, and then as like the days progressed, I started to have like more like pain across my upper jaw, kind of like some numbness. It was just like different for me. I've never really had like teeth issues or really any health issues. So I was like, I need to go to the dentist, check to see if there's maybe like something going on. So I went to a dentist. They did x-rays and they didn't see anything, and they said if it continues, we'd recommend going to see your primary care doctor, going to the ER if it's like urgent, and possibly doing an MRI. So I was just like, all right, whatever. I don't think like it's anything that important, so like I'll just give it a little bit. So I gave it a little bit, and then the numbness that was happening on my jaw continued up my face, and then eventually like it just, I think it had to have been like at least like a week later, like my whole left side of my face from my upper jaw and up was numb. And then I like let my mom know. I'm like, Mom, so I've been having this issue with my tooth and now my face is numb. And she's like, Sarah, what is wrong with you? You need to go to the ER like right away. And I was like, okay, fine. You're right, Mom. So I went to the ER. She took my daughter Lincoln. And then I was like, all right, I'll go to the ER. Now, mind you, again, this is in the middle of the pandemic hitting here, or like the beginning of the pandemic hitting here. So it was like hardcore, like masks, nobody come in here, blah, 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 like really strict. So I go to the ER. They do a bunch of tests, like they test me for Lyme disease, I don't know, like a bunch of other blood work. They asked me if I drink, do drugs, like if I've been on drugs, if I took some type of drug, which I don't, I've never been one to drink, definitely don't do drugs. So I said, no, none of that, like I just don't know what's going on with my face. I think they were kind of skeptical about that whole situation. I honestly think they thought I was on drugs. But anyway, so they did all this blood work, like checked my eyes, all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. And everything was negative, no Lyme disease, none of the blood work came back weird. So they said, okay, we recommend that you get an MRI, but we don't want to put you in the hospital because if we admit you, you have to get like COVID tested, no one can come to visit you. And they knew like I'm younger, I have like a daughter, I don't really want to be away from my daughter. I'm a single parent, so I don't really have anyone to even watch my daughter while I'm in the hospital. So like obviously my family could have taken her, but I just like didn't want to put that burden on them while I'm sick. So we agreed not to put me into the hospital. They were like, you need to call this, you call this number, get an MRI through the hospital, but you just don't have to be admitted. And so I was like, okay, that sounds good. So the next day I like woke up and I had like double vision starting where like I could look at like a light in the morning and it would be like 2 and then eventually it would like go to 1, but it would like take a bit for that to happen. So I'd have like random double vision on and off situations throughout the day. So then I called that number the next day and they were like, hey, sorry, like we're not taking this as a referral. And I was like, what do you mean? Like I was literally at the ER yesterday and they told me that this could be a referral. And they said, no, that's not how it works. You need to have your primary care doctor see you and then they will send a referral. And I was like, all right, this is a waste of my time, but whatever. So I called my primary care doctor, made an appointment with them. It took about a week to get an appointment with them. Got the appointment. They gave me the referral. I went and got an MRI done, so now like 2 weeks have passed since I've been at the ER, and now I am walking like I'm drunk. I have double vision all the time unless I have something covering my eye, like an eye patch. My like depth perception was really off. Like I didn't know when I was gonna like hit something. It's so weird to describe. Yeah, and so I had my MRI. Got the MRI results. My doctor called me right away. She goes, hey, got your MRI results. You need to go to the hospital right now and get admitted. There's a lesion in your brain on your cerebellum, which is like what is causing all of these things on your face, to be numb, to have double vision, to have your equilibrium off, things like that. So you need to be admitted and have more testing done. At the time, I mean, I only had that one like lesion on my brain. I still only have the one, but they were like very concerned that maybe it was something else, not just like they thought maybe it could be MS, maybe it could be another autoimmune disease, maybe it's a brain tumor. Like they didn't know what was going on because there's only one lesion, and most people with MS have multiple lesions, so they were just really confused. So by the time I had all this done, like my parents were in Florida and I was like, what, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. What do I do with Lincoln? Then like I can't just go to the hospital with Lincoln and have to be admitted. So luckily I had a friend that could come pick Lincoln up and then bring her back to my parents' house because they were on their way back home from Florida. And I was able to go to the hospital and was admitted right away. They started doing more MRIs, one of my spine. They did a spinal tap, which pulls like the spinal fluid, and saw like the bands in there that are common with MS. And yeah, so they just continued to do some MRIs. I don't have any lesions on my spine, which was a good thing. So just that one in the brain. But they were still kind of like not diagnosing me with MS. Even though like I pretty much had the symptoms, I had a lesion, I had the bands, like so, but they were still like waiting for some other tests. Whenever I was diagnosed, they started giving me steroid infusions while I was in the hospital. I got 2, like so 1 each day while I was in the hospital, and then after the second day I was just like, I'm not one of those people to like lay in bed all day and just like lounge. Like I can't do it. The food at the hospital is also disgusting, so I started to get a little antsy and I was like, I'm leaving. I need to leave. I don't want to stay here. I think that the nurses were kind of mad at me because I was like, just let me discharge myself. They were like, you can't. And I said, one of the nurses told me I could do an infusion of the steroid at like a local infusion center. I don't need to be here for that tomorrow. And they were like, but all your tests aren't back, blah, 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 blah. I was like, I don't care. Like, we all know that it's probably MS. Like, you gave me 2 steroid infusions. I'm feeling better. I'm back to walking fine. My double vision's gone. I want to go home. Like, this is not where I want to be. So I had to fight a little bit to like leave the hospital, but I'm glad that I did because I just didn't want to be there, and it was just not the right place to like handle that diagnosis, especially during COVID where no one can be with you, and like I couldn't talk to my daughter, she couldn't come visit me, like my parents couldn't come visit me, so it was just like really disconnected. I just couldn't handle it. So I left, and then was diagnosed with MS. I went the next day and had my steroid infusion at an outpatient hospital. And then I got signed up with a neurologist, who I really like. I do like my neurologist. I know a lot of people who get diagnosed with autoimmune or MS and things like that don't really, like, you really have to advocate for yourself, but like my neurologist is at least willing to learn and like listen to me, I guess, when I say that I don't want to do certain things. So right away, obviously, I went to my neurologist appointment, did the examination, and he recommended putting me on a daily shot that's supposed to stop the progression of MS. But honestly, like, the symptoms or side effects, I mean, of those medicines, like, are worse than anything I feel on a daily basis. Like, I don't feel symptoms on a daily basis now. So I don't want to be on a medication that, one, you can't get pregnant on, and 2, you feel worse from side effects than you do on a daily basis without it. So I said no to that. They wanted to put me on like a 6-month infusion. Also said no to that. Just, my dad's a veterinarian. He looked over the pamphlet with me and he was like, Sarah, you cannot take this. I refuse you to take it. And I was like, yeah, me too. And that one has like a side effect where it can like cause the JC virus, I believe it's called, to like transfer from like inside your body to your brain, and then you can die from brain swelling. So they tested me for the JC virus, which I guess most people have already come in contact when they were kids and like have it dormant in their body. It's just not something that like affects them. Except when your immune system is like really low, then it could cause a problem. So I actually am positive for that virus, so they weren't able to put me on that medicine anyway. So I was kind of happy that I didn't have to fight too hard for that one. But yeah, so I said no meds. I'm gonna go on a diet, like a diet change, just like restrict certain foods that cause inflammation, which I can totally make another video about. Like, I'll be completely honest with you. When I first got diagnosed, my diet was completely wrong. It's not what I'm eating now. I thought I was doing okay, but I thought what I was eating was okay, but it wasn't. So I've actually switched my diet like 3 times since I've been diagnosed with MS, just trying to figure out like what makes me feel best, and that's okay to do, because not everything is going to work for everyone. So I said I'm gonna do diet change, and I was always running, doing things, and I've like been an active person, always played sports, and I said, so I'm gonna continue to make it a priority to work out every day, run every day, or at least 3 times a week, and things like that. So I want to do that. And he said, okay, we'll try that. You only have the 1 lesion, you've had 1 issue. He said, though, if for some reason you have a relapse within the next 3 months, then I'm going to tell you again to go on medication. And I said, okay. And he said, because we're choosing this route, we're going to do MRIs every like 3 months instead of 6 months, just to like keep up and make sure that nothing is happening like with progression, that like just because I don't feel a symptom, like that nothing's happening. And I said, yeah, whatever. So we started doing MRIs every 3 months, and they were all clear. So then we pushed it to 6 months, and those were clear. And so now we pushed it to just once a year that I'll have to do MRIs. I also requested to stop using contrast within the MRIs too, just because the last like 2 times I did it, it made me really sick, and I know that the contrast they use can actually really affect your kidneys and liver, so you shouldn't be using that every time you have an MRI. So I requested not to do that either. So last MRI didn't have contrast. This following MRI, which I think is due in April of 2022. I've got to double check. But last one, nothing's changed. So hopefully nothing's changed on this either. But that's just like my diagnosis. So I pretty much just wanted to go over this so that we can, as like form some type of like community, even just for like people with autoimmune diseases. Cause I mean, it's honestly like a life-changing event, like literally my life. And I'm gonna say this and not in like a mean way, because I feel like this is how most people feel like when they get diagnosed with something, or they're at like the end of their life, or like diagnosed with like cancer. They're like, that's the point where I realize like what really matters in life. So like the fact that I got diagnosed with MS at 28, like it really made me stop and think like, what am I doing in life? Like what is really important to me? And a lot of the things that I was doing or like focused on, just like it wasn't it. So I'm happy that this happened to me, because it's really made me like the best person I can be. And I'm not saying like I'm perfect, or I'm not saying that I'm done growing, because I'm definitely not, but like it's made me take the steps in the right direction to become the best person I can be. So I just want that for everyone. I want people to take a moment to think about their lives, just what makes you happy, what can you do to become happy in life. Maybe is there a diet change I can do that could make me feel better during the day? Is there meditation? Are there books I can start picking up? Are there fitness routines I can do? Because I know a lot of people, like I know I'm lucky with MS and that I am not paralyzed from it, and that I snapped right back after my issue, or my first relapse, I guess it's called. Like I was fine after the 3 days of steroids, but a lot of people aren't that lucky, and so it's hard to get up and do things, but like it's really important to at least try. So I just want to like build this community where we can have these discussions and kind of figure out how to move forward after a big life-changing event, such as being diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, or some other type of like large change in your life that you don't really know how to push forward. So thanks guys, I really appreciate you coming and watching my video. I'll definitely be creating another one just regarding like some things I've changed to make me happy. I want to come up with some like workout videos possibly. I really don't do anything major for my workouts, and then just like discussing diets. So if you guys have any like specific questions or things you want answered or talked about, just comment them below and let me know. Thanks!